Greetings! Welcome to this week's Burning Questions, where we're going to talk all about the questions that are on fire.
That is not where I thought you were going with that.
I like to keep you on your toes.
Bring your own cream.
I always do.
At least we have toes.
Joining me this week is our very special guest, African-American, experienced African-American, Fast Cat, our expert on lupines.
Oh, me?
You're the only
There's an
experienced
African-American
African-American here. I fucked up your intro there as well, I'm sorry.
I'm Fast Card, also known as FC. Hi.
Experienced disabled fellow rolling in over the sunset is, of course, Nitro Typat.
Oh, I was waiting for Tina. I'm so used to just you directing an intro to one person and then saying somebody else that I'm just like, nope, this isn't mine. Also, you can add expert lupine killer to that list now, because right now
killing
I'm
blow. That's like somebody asking you to open a jar when they've been working at it for 10 minutes.
Kills one lupine, gets penis and calls himself expert.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, no, I'm saying expert because out of this group, I am the only one that have killed one.
You're the sort of guy that would go down on someone for 2 minutes, come back up and say, I'm an expert at this.
If I was the only one in the room that had done it, then yeah.
I like Tavi's experienced Cybertronian specialized in human form disguises.
Also, Miss Hartz, that was a hypothetical, so I know where you were going.
Our resident beard expert, Noscavian.
Oh,
that's not how you're going to do it.
I was like, that could be any of us.
Yeah, right?
Except maybe Trevor, sorry.
It's a bit unkempt at the moment.
Hey, I can rock a beard.
Oh yeah, that was one of the most
Those
confusing
pictures have been
erections I ever
published.
had.
Exactly.
Talking of confusing
Do
erections.
I need to find a beard picture?
Talking of confusing erections, currently on the phone is Tina.
How did you know the name of my garage band?
You guys ever been on a
What, confusing
been in a band?
erections?
You guys ever been in a band and have your girlfriend run up on stage and kiss you in front of everybody? That's basically what my wife just did. I'm fucking busy. Leave me alone. You want to know why she called me?
I miss you.
Pickles.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Does she need someone to open a jar? If so, I'm an expert.
I opened a jar once.
Opened one jar.
What kind of pickles?
And last but by no means least, joining us after spending a week as a pickle is, of course, Pickle Miss Hearts.
Yeah, I'm making the same face.
Funniest thing I ever saw.
All right, there's the meme.
I'm stumped.
So,
yeah.
How is everyone?
All right.
Good today.
Oh, good.
Pretty okay.
Good. Miss Hearts is rocking the drive-through daiquiri that she picked up.
I'm happy it's legal now.
Drinking and driving ain't never been so much fun.
Well, you're supposed to wait till you get home to drink it.
Supposed to.
Do you ever peel the tape off the lid and then just blast breaking the law, breaking the law?
Breaking the law! Breaking the law!
I have a question. Can you imagine me riding it to a drive-thru or in my car, asking for a daiquiri and taking it home? Yeah, that would be
Next time in Texas, I'll try it.
This.
So
we need to.
Sorry, not escaping. Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, get your funny in. Get your funny in. It's fine. Get it in now. So last
Put him on the
session,
spot.
Tina,
We all have funnies.
What?
what are your thoughts and feelings on the last session? Any highlights or anything for you?
God, I hope Amon doesn't fucking talk about this Lupin as much as Nitro has.
See, me talking about it a lot is me just channeling Amon. You have no clue.
Everybody got the kind of meet Beretta, I guess.
Mm.
They know about her now, so there's that, I guess.
She even had her own sound effect.
Mm.
It goes on and on and on and on.
By the way, I wanted to say it at some point and I totally forgot. That sound effect sounds like that Chihuahua video and it's just pitched down really heavily to make it sound like a bigger dog.
What is
I don't
that
think I've
sound
seen
effect,
that
by the
one.
way?
It's a dog
Is it from a
growling.
movie or something? No,
No,
but
it
it's
was
from a movie
it was
or
off of
something, or-
YouTube of some guy going up to a junkyard and this really fucking mean dog. That was how he was greeted.
Oh, okay.
Call my
Sitting.
haven a junkyard? What the fuck?
Basically.
No, just your dog, a junkyard dog.
There you go.
I mean, it's really what she is. I mean, let's be.
Any highlights? Anything that stood out for you? Anything you particularly enjoyed or didn't enjoy?
No, I mean, not. I guess the Lupin thing was cool. I liked it. I mean, that kind of stood out. It was kind of an unexpected thing.
It was fun stress.
Yeah, like there were
Stormy.
no revelations. You know, we
Mhm.
haven't had any revelations lately. So,
Miss Hart, I see you're drinking. Oh, sorry.
play an asshole, like you know.
I see you're no longer drinking, so I can't interrupt your drinking. Any thoughts or highlights from the last? Oh God, it's silence.
That's
That's
exactly what I was thinking of when I did it.
That's funny. I don't care what anyone says. That's
Any thoughts or
Or
highlights from the
silence.
last game for you?
I had a lot of fun with the Lupine battle. And I also had a lot of fun with the brand. Like the messaging, branding thing. That was an interesting dynamic.
It was funny because Amon healed himself.
fucking children vampire. Kindred, whatever. the
Nothing's
fuck they are.
funnier than the fact that I went into that fight paranoid and the only damage I took was from that brand.
Yeah.
Any particular favorite bits or something that you didn't like?
Can't really think of anything I didn't like.
Yeah, last session was pretty solid.
Last session was
You
really
asked me
fun.
what I didn't like. I didn't appreciate the fact that the footsteps weren't surround sound, but you know, other than that,
Ah,
It says weren't
Immersion
surround sound
broken.
while on headphones.
Drink. Immersion.
that's kind of the joke. Here.
Yeah. I don't appreciate that the footsteps weren't surround sound. I
You
use
wear
one earbud.
ear. Yeah.
Why weren't the footsteps using Dolby Atmos? Come on, Shiv.
Because we don't have the license to use it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's got us there.
Noscavian, I see you're drinking. Any thoughts,
Mm.
highlights from the last session?
It was pretty awesome. The sound effects for the wolf was awesome. I love the build up of it coming to it. Just was like, oh shit, werewolf is coming. The werewolf fight was pretty cool. Isaac got slapped in the face by a massive claw, and I thought I was gonna be a badass with my Awe of Decay, which did nothing.
I'm
That was
really
kinda funny,
sad that didn't happen. I
We
was
also went to
waiting for
break
Isaac.
with
Like
Isaac
I
going,
was waiting. I was waiting for Isaac to be a sudden badass by just taking a werewolf claw to the
I've
face
never
and then
fought
just
a werewolf
melting him.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then of course, with the counter roll the werewolf rolled, even if I had gotten a crit, I think the werewolf would have beaten me. That was 9
Mm.
successes. Holy crap!
Mm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I definitely decided to level up my fortitude now for sure. Yeah. After
So now
Isaac,
you have an
the tank.
excuse. You have an excuse now.
Yeah.
I took a werewolf to the face. My fortitude went up.
Yeah. Right.
So we've got I don't know what Caesar would be considered, but now we've got 2 fighters. Or no, I'm sorry. Xavier's almost more of a ranger. We've got a fighter, a ranger, a tank with Isaac, a spellcaster with the doctor, and I'm not entirely sure what Caesar would be considered.
I
Badass.
consider myself either a ranger or a paladin.
Mm.
Oh, I can see Paladin.
Oh, paladin, yeah.
Our tank is the old man. So you're basically just
Yeah.
like, all right, Grandpa, shove. Go into
I'll be
the
right
fight.
behind you.
We'll be right behind.
Yeah, took some damage for us.
Yeah.
Nitro.
Yeah, but
Oh, sorry, go on.
I'm saying, yeah, I'm definitely gonna level up fortitude for sure.
Nitro.
I don't really think that there's much else that other people haven't already said. The werewolf encounter was a lot of fun. Having a really stressful situation to be in like that was a nice change of pace. Like it wasn't like to be fair, I feel like we kind of killed that thing a lot easier than I thought we were going to, but I know that that was also a good thing for us.
We?
Other
Who
than that-
killed? Who killed the?
We all did it together. I was actually surprised I was the one that
That's not
got
what you were
that
saying
done.
before the show.
I know.
Well, you know, Isaac softened him up.
We were all
Yeah.
surprised and regretful that you were the one that got the killing blow.
Yeah, I just went in there to get another attack on it, and I ended up rolling a crit, and which was like 8 successes. And when Shiver was like, "Yeah, you split its head open," I was just, yes. Good moment. Good moment. No, as cathartic as that was, and how good of a plot point that is for Amon and his story. Just wait until you find out what Pandora gave him as a reward. Because it did not make up for it whatsoever. Nope,
Reward?
not even
Yeah,
close.
that's what I'm thinking.
Not even close.
That's what she wanted to
I
give.
mentioned. She acted. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mentioned the present because when she said she'd leave it at my house, I knew she was giving me something. And I mentioned it to Shiv. I think it was last night, and you were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that gift, it's this." And I went, "Really?" And you were like, "Yep." So that'll be fun. I'll definitely be bringing it around the coterie at some point. I'm kind of waiting to see what her gift is to the coterie because I have a feeling it might be something similar.
You said she was going to give a gift to the coterie. Oh, yes. You got a letter.
The letter.
That's
I
right.
was going to say. But I have a feeling it might be something similar, so I have no idea what I'm going to do with mine. But
see, they all
Yeah.
think it's they're in for a shock.
Shocker.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to repeat that. Yeah, last session was really, really good.
Fast Cut. You are basically our resident expert on the lupine. The Garou to you, I believe.
Not much
That's
of
your
all.
word, not mine.
Not much of one of all, but okay.
So, what did you think?
When Isaac got that fight in the face and he taking damage, and you said it wasn't aggravated, I was like,
Yeah,
Okay.
that shocked me. I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I might not die because I thought that took me down to I think I had one or two
Yeah.
health levels left. And I initially thought that was going to be aggravated until he was like, nope, it's superficial. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Maybe
did
they'll live
tests.
This is a little werewolf.
I did tests before I threw the werewolf at you, and I was like, you die within the first round. So I've got to do something about this. So I nerfed it quite a bit.
Honestly, I think had the werewolf, well, I guess I had a really bad soak roll, but if someone else with lower health also completely bumbled a soak roll like that, and it was aggravated, it could have one-shot people for sure.
I think we also lucked out with the fact that it was only 1 against the 5 of us.
Mhm.
So it
Hello,
could
your
only
new
attack
stepdad 12.
once.
I love the name.
Well, I mean, it was a full werewolf with aggravated damage. 5 of you, yeah, you probably lose quite a few of you before you took it
Yeah.
down.
It
Yeah.
would have killed Isaac in the first hit.
No, Isaac would have lived.
No, if it
Isaac's
was
got a lot of health.
well, because remember, Shiv also said that he nerfed their stats too, so it probably would have rolled higher.
I mean, had it did more damage, yeah, of course.
Mhm.
Knowing what I know now, I don't think I'm going to try to dodge again. I'm going to try to like counter with anything.
Like I did.
So,
Yeah, as
So
soon as I
explain
found
that
out
part.
that, I was just gonna say, as soon as I figured out you don't have to dodge, you can just counterattack. Combat's so much more fun now.
I mean, you have a higher risk of
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
you have a higher risk of damage counterattacking. Or dodging you could get out of it entirely.
Yeah, I was gonna. The whole thing was to explain the difference between counterattacking and dodging, but you did that. So yeah, I don't want to say that Isaac got slapped. He got wolf slapped. Thank you, Miss Hodge got it.
I got it
And
too.
I mean,
you didn't express the joy I was looking for. Oh, go ahead.
it was a nerf wolf, so it was only a teen wolf.
nice.
So on the second wolf account, it'll be Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah,
Then we'll have to fight
In a-
2 teen wolves.
in a basketball court.
I get that reference.
I've got soaring leap though, so I have mad hops.
Also, I made a joke in the Twitch chat about how actually was going on about Amon is going on about getting the kill, and I jokingly typed he should be named Lupine Killer, and then 2 minutes later I was thrilled and overjoyed that Shidra actually took it. I don't know if she took it because I said it or she was gonna do it anyway, but he said I dubbed the Lupine Killer. So I was happy about that.
Amon and I were both on the high that I was the one that got the killing blow. Like, I figured we were gonna kill it. That was the only way we were gonna get out of that encounter was to kill it. But the fact that I got the killing blow, I was just riding that high. So I won't be that annoying about it in the future.
Yeah,
I
you
was
will.
just kind of
You
having
will.
fun with it. I mean, I will if somebody brings it up. But I'm not going to be that guy where it's like, oh yeah, we killed a lupine. I'm not going to be like, actually, I killed the lupine. No.
Surely.
What do you think, Pascal?
And the last thing.
Oh yeah, go on then.
Go ahead.
Do you
Oh,
think
okay.
that
The
that's
last
going
thing
to
I was
be
gonna say-
the nail in the coffin for Nitro, Pascal? That he has now sealed his fate. That he is going to die at the hands of a pack of werewolves.
I think it was actually pretty cathartic for both Nitro and Amon that he got to kill it. So I
I could totally see what Shiver's saying though. I mean, it didn't hurt me, so none of my blood is on the ground there. But I could totally see them trying to hunt me down, for lack of a better term.
Werewolf's gonna hunt down Isaac.
Is that something he needs to
His
worry about,
blood's
Fastcat? Do Garou seek revenge for losing one of their own pack?
I think so.
Wouldn't anyone?
True, but
Depends on humanity.
Not everyone is 12 to 15 foot tall.
I mean, they can touch the body, sniff the head of the killing blow, get them on scent, and track them down. Maybe.
And he wanted a fucking trophy, Fastcat. He wanted to take an ear or something from the thing. It's like, really? Really?
I think I mentioned it.
You could have just ripped out a thing or something.
I think I might have, it might have been after the game was over. I mentioned that me as a player totally forgot that Garou are big on, like, from the earth, Gaia, all that stuff. So as soon as Pandora said, "Oh yeah, they would have, they would have hunted you down just for that fang or that claw or this and that," mine kind of went, "Oh okay," but me as a player was like, "Oh yeah, that was a good idea. I didn't do that."
Oh, and
what part of why Phaedra knighted him? It's like, okay, you didn't get your trophy. You can have this.
So you were going to do that before I said anything?
What that is.
Were you going to do that before I said anything, or you thinking that this the whole time?
I was going to do that. Yeah, I was looking for some way to say sorry you didn't get your trophy. Have this
You
instead.
really are Amon's mom. Dang.
Sire,
I've said
damn
it
it.
before and I'll say it again. MILF.
Vilf. I do think I'm going to get that Vampire Daddy shirt.
I think it needs to be VILF now.
I could do that.
Oh, and my last thing about that whole thing, when Nitro rolled that critical to kill the Lupin, I was expecting and hoping someone would say, "How do you want to do this?"
Mm.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
I wonder if that's trademark.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Fast
I mean, if it's probably on a T-shirt. Go ahead.
Do you think that Mercy... Well, how do you think Mercy would react to hearing the news that they managed to kill a werewolf?
I don't know how he would, unless Lamia tells him, and I don't see why she would. Let's just torment him. But that's totally in a character. But how would she know?
Well, I mean, either, like you say, Lamia passes on the news just to torture him, or there is the connection with Dr. Bowie and Mercy.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think he would tell him, no. He probably would leave that part out. But, yeah, Mercy wouldn't be pleased. I can't give away too much backstory. I want to say how he would react, but he would not be pleased, put it that way. If he finds out. Hopefully he won't.
So, I mean, there is a whole story with Mercy they just haven't touched yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is,
He'd be
but
conflicted.
I know it exists because after Mercy and the Doctor had their little text RP or whatever, Fastcar's been like, has the doc mentioned anything yet? And we're like, nope. He goes, all right, I won't say anything. How about now? Has he mentioned anything? Nope, not yet.
I was a little bit of that, but I stopped after a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, because I mean, I get you're excited because you were involved. I'm excited now because I have no idea what it is.
I mean, we could always, Fastcar, we could always push another member of the coterie into that chat as well and see if that, is a catalyst to bringing the story up a bit.
I know an old man that's really curious about stuff.
Hey, I know a kindred who hates werewolves.
I think that would be a bad idea.
Yeah,
I know
but so good story-wise.
I know of a kindred that's
true.
in with the Anarchs.
Me too.
I know
He
a
wouldn't
kindred
know
who
about.
seeks justice.
I don't think he would know the difference between him and Willard and
She
They
doesn't
would
like
all
that.
just be vampires. They would all be just be vampires to him.
True.
Little bit
All
speciesist.
vampires smell the same.
Oh, really? All vampires are the same? I guess all werewolves are the same.
No, all vampires smell the same.
Yeah, I was like, what is
Actually, I think
Isaac
that's
getting on?
true. Yeah, I don't think a werewolf would distinguish one worm stench from another worm stench.
No, I mean
That's worm.
between you could track different kindreds. They would you have
I was
individual
waiting.
stench. You have it.
Yeah, I was
like
waiting
a
for him. You
human.
can track an individual stink.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I think a lupine wouldn't smell a person and go, ah, Bruja. It's more like, ah, vampire.
yeah, right, yeah, true.
As Noscavian just brought up in passing the worm and things, fast cut, would you care to explain worm, weaver, and all that sort of thing? Why Garou hate kindred so much that they will kill them on sight?
Well, I guess the simplest explanation is that Garou, they worship Luna, they worship Mother Earth, and Helios, the sun, and they want to protect nature. And the big bad in the Garou lore is oh crap, I had a name in my head, but I can't think of Pentec, and they're like an oil company or a conglomerate. And Garou lore, who would like bent on destroying the world, and that's the big bad, and for them, and they're trying to prevent Pentec from destroying the world. But along the line, there are other supernaturals who are they have tainted. They're tainted, and one of those are vampires. So most of them are kicked on side. No excuses. Like you said before in the previous show, if you have a mass murderer who's human, and you have a good guy, or maybe even like a thin-blooded vampire next to him, the guy who said they're human, fine, kill the leech. So. And as far as like the Weaver and all that's pretty in deep in the lore, but basically that's like technology and like they're static. Weaver wants the chips to stay the same. The worm wants to decay, and
originally they were all
the wild
good gods, I suppose, for lack of a better word. They were all good, but I think the worm became tainted, which is why it now tries to spread its taint. Whereas the Weaver,
and there's some argument
plans, and
there's some argument that the Weaver is tainted too, but it depends on who you talk to. And the wild, that's the third one. The worm decays, the Weaver wants status quo, and the wild is the creator.
Thank you for the host, Vancouver by Night. I'm glad you've popped by, because I was hoping to be able to say that on June 26, 8 p.m. PDT on twitch.tv/Vancouver by Night, they're doing their special charity stream for Rape Crisis Center. Not only have they got Matt Mercer guesting, not only have they got B. Dave Walters guesting, but they also now have Cynthia Marie guesting.
And I can't be there for it.
So if you are able, do tune into that, because that is one hell of a lineup. Matt Mercer will be playing Beckett.
Oh. I really want to see that.
That'll be really good.
It starts pretty much right after our game.
Oh my god.
Too.
And there are more announcements to come, he says.
Oh my.
You did pretty well.
He's just going to be like, yeah, we got Jason Kyle coming on as well.
Probably.
He's done really well with that. And Vancouver by Night, of course, is extremely supportive and active for the entire VTM community. So thank you for that as well. Do show your love and support. Where were we? Sorry to interrupt you there, Fast Cat.
No, you're fine. I was done.
Okay, cool. Right, screw you then. So, anyone got any
Promise?
questions? Anyone got any questions from the last session?
I know you told us to make a new character in case we died last game. How soon should I have that character ready in the next coming games?
You should always have a concept on standby. Because
Yeah,
then I don't have to feel bad or panic if you die.
I'm just joking.
So you'll feel bad. You just won't feel panic.
Oh, Shiv. What about a Setite with a gold snake?
Hate you.
Yeah.
Also, they're
I'm
called the
missing something.
Ministry now.
With the contact with that.
Okay, fine.
I have
What's
a
this, like?
tremendous fear of snakes.
I'll be a member
Ah.
of the ministry. And since I'm a member of the
It's
ministry,
Also
guess I
referred
could
to
have
as little bitch.
a gold snake that I'll name Jesus.
Oh, I have a concept. If Mercy dies, how about I become a Merkley, which is like a whale lizard, and I could be a snake. A whale
There you
snake.
go. Yeah.
Or I can make an Anasai, a were spider.
That's better.
Oh, I guess they must be based off
Weaver.
the storyteller, right? What's his title? The
Shiver.
spider. Hold on, let me look.
Okay.
Not really a question, but I'm excited to I think Xavier wanted to have a talk last game. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I've been milling around ideas in my head. I'm not entirely sure who's going to be under the spotlight for questioning, but I'm just in case.
Yeah,
I'm
you do.
preparing Amon. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know if it's gonna divert. Like, if somebody's gonna say something and Xavier's just like, you know what about you? What do you blah, 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 like yelling at the next person.
Savior would never do that.
So I've been kind
You
of.
all technically have no idea what the fuck Xavier will do.
I know, which is why I'm preparing myself. And to keep in mind, just I'll probably reiterate it next game as well, because like Amon and Xavier, their backstory is probably some of the more fleshed out of the coterie, which is why we're kind of. I know Caesar is, but Caesar's been sharing a lot of her backstory too. But that's kind of why Xavier wants people to talk more. Is we haven't talked much about anything that's happened before us becoming a coterie. So I'm preparing myself a bit to answer questions which might be big reveals. And I know Amon typically goes into, well, I just don't want to talk about it type thing. So if I do start to do that, that's not me as a player being like, I don't want to talk about that. Keep pushing that, because I'm hoping that maybe Amon will finally snap and start just being like, you know what? Okay, fine. And I'll pull Xavier.
Clarification. Will you talk about the two big reveals about your wife?
Is she pregnant?
No.
She has two
So
massive
he's been a
reveals.
vampire for a while.
Oh.
Oh,
No, Shiv. No, I will not. What part of that parenthesized text did you not read where everything in this text box is a joke?
The bit where the bracket started and afterwards.
Gotcha.
I have a quick question. Did everyone else write a novella for the backstory like I did for Mercy?
No.
I don't like writing, but I have a pretty clear idea in my head.
No, but I
for
had
Pandora.
I had an actual retired Army Ranger help me write Xavier's Ranger backstory, so that's fully fleshed out.
I honestly wish I could do that, but the area of expertise that Amon came from is one that both me and Shiver cannot flesh out because there is no information anywhere on it. So we did the best we could.
There's no information on Google.
Without revealing what it is, probably not.
Okay.
I
I might
started.
look after this game though.
I started doing that for SPCs, and a couple of the more recent ones that may or may not appear, they've got a hell of a long backstory. But by the time you've done about 5 or 6, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
So you've all learned the fate of Kalo. Apart from Cedra,
Oh, yeah.
I can
forgot that
never
happened.
get past
Yeah.
anything. Anything can. I just can't get. You work it out near enough instantly. What I'm going with. So everyone else. did anyone see that
Actually,
coming?
Nitro worked it
did.
out first.
Mhm.
And as soon as I saw something click in him, and then I realized. But yeah,
And
Nitro
then,
figured
and
it
then
out.
I was in chat making an annoying guesses like, wait, can that taste that Dr. Bovie do make a distinction between vampire and vampire?
I think I figured it out as
I
soon
forgot
as
this.
Pandora said some kind of kindred and maybe an animal with 4 legs or something like that. And my brain went, oh no.
And then as soon as your eyes lit up, I'm like, why is oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't get it till later. But when it tasted the blood, I was like, vampire, right?
I actually forgot about his
You-
son. And I was a little confused about the blood. Because it
Yeah.
almost sounded like it was 3 things instead of 2.
Mhm. Yeah, I was confused too, but in my head it was either just Kalo and the dog or all 3 of them, and I couldn't tell which one it was.
Halo's new dog turned out to be a girl. No,
Mhm.
I wouldn't know.
And that'd be some
That would have
shit.
been a turn up.
I blame
Yeah, it's like-
China.
It's like let's go for a walk, and then it just so happens that's when the girl
Well,
spirit wakes up
can
within
you-
the dog or the wolf.
Well, to be fair, Caleb is a
They
type
were
who would
in.
take who would take a wolf under his wing, and it would turn out to be a werewolf.
He was the one walking his dog in lupine
Mhm.
territory.
Because
This whole
he's an idiot.
situation, yeah, this whole situation is like, oh no, Kalo's dead, but he kind of did do it to himself. poor stupid idiot.
I mean, you,
Yeah, a little.
you've seen his ending. You'll get the epilogue soon.
Mm.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
The autopsy report.
so- What autopsy? There's nothing left, right?
Fingernail or 2.
How are we gonna say? So who gets his stuff?
Camarilla.
Who wants
Actually,
his stuff?
The doctor. The doctor got his gun.
Ah,
And some homeless
true.
guy on the street just got a.
Oh my god, that was so good.
yeah,
This
that-
isn't a shotgun.
Oh yeah, had the collar.
Oh yeah, somebody has the collar too. If Amon was the one with the collar, I didn't want to mention this out loud. I was tempted to give the collar to Pandora.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool if we summoned Kalo's spirit and bound it to Xavier?
I could give you some letter information on that.
Would I not have to be accepted of that? Like, would that not have to be a thing where, like, yeah, I'm okay with that?
No.
You
It
might
doesn't
get a
have to be
resist
consensual.
roll, but
Yeah, might get a resist roll.
I mean, he would frenzy resist.
no, I would never do it like that. I would never do it. I'm just
Not only would he
joking.
frenzy resist, if you actually succeeded, he may try to kill you.
Well, and what the thing is Xavier may not initially kill me, but after he realizes it's permanent, he would definitely kill me.
Just have,
Oh my
just
god,
have
imagine
Isaac by
having
the neck.
Kalo in your head.
Yeah, just have
He's like-
Isaac by the neck. What have you done to me?
You'd be like, wait,
Hey,
I've been dealing with this for like 2 nights now. You mean he's never going away? You are fucking dead.
God, that would be
Oh,
the
but
worst.
speaking of, I thought the way Sidra was handling everyone in her head was handled pretty well. I mean, I like that part.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Except I see the doctor wanting that power.
He'll use it to control the information.
Very likely.
Oh yeah, did you want the meta information on Kalo's spirit?
Oh,
Up to
actually,
you.
I think you mentioned it. But go ahead.
It was sort of mentioned in the session, but I don't think you'd actually be able to raise his spirit because it didn't go to the underworld.
Oh,
Yeah, it went into the Malkavian network or whatever.
You did mention that. You did mention that.
Guys, I'm learning.
Ooh.
Nice. So if
Well,
anyone
that's
makes
inconvenient.
Oh, perfect. So Amon, when you make your Malkavian character, you have a little piece of Kalo with you.
Hilariously enough, that piece is the penis.
Okay,
And
that
I'm
was funny. I give him. That was funny. I'm just disappointed. I didn't think of it.
If you
Oh,
focus hard enough, you'll get mind fucked.
I'm just gonna be playing my
with
Malkavian.
that-
I'll be like, wait a minute, something's reaching out to me. It just got hard.
Would that make Nitro's character a dickhead?
Nice.
Probably.
Are you talking
Celis
about
asks,
That or a snake handler.
Celis asks,
I'll
wouldn't
name
that
him
mean that
Jesus.
Balo could know who the Ripper is? Possibly, maybe, if first of all Kalo know who the Ripper is.
That's a fucking.
Yeah,
That's a great comment, though. Like, way to
yeah.
think on your
This,
toes.
this. I think this coincidentally just happened to be a killing of from a Lupine because he was in Lupine territory. There's nothing confirmed yet that says it was the. So I highly doubt it was the Ripper, and there's nothing confirmed.
That was
that
actually
it's the
something.
Ripper. Yeah.
That was something I was planning on asking Pandora. Was this actually a Ripper murder?
or it could have been.
Potentially,
It could have been.
I highly doubt it.
It could have been. Could have been the Lupin that Nitro killed. You got revenge on him.
Could have been Mercy out
If
for a
that
walk.
was the. Yeah.
Pretty sure
Yeah,
Mercy
we're gonna have
would
to get a
deal.
schedule of all of Mercy's
Oh, he
Pretty
would,
walks,
yeah. He would
lining
fast
up with
Yeah, pretty
Ripper
sure-
murders.
Sorry, I was gonna say pretty sure Mercy would deal aggravated damage, but yeah, other than
That's
that,
true.
Yeah, he did to me.
Yeah, I guess Mercy wouldn't be a teen wolf.
Also,
So-
we did actually see Mercy deal aggravated damage to those Thin Bloods.
And vampire.
Well, I mean, it's not confirmed that Mercy was the one that attacked me.
No, in
just
the
like bringing
things
it
that he killed, it was Thin Bloods and one vampire.
Oh, I thought it was
At
all
the
Thin
ball.
Bloods.
no,
Ah,
No, that was one
gotcha.
vampire.
one was yeah.
Fast cut. Why do you
Mhm.
think Kalo was out there in the first place?
He's crazy.
Good theory. Accurate. Nitro.
No, I have no.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
Other than that, I have no clue. Go ahead.
Oh. Nitro.
Because that park is so pretty at night.
Okay, so because he's crazy. Fair enough. Scavian.
He got a premonition that the Ripper was going to attack a werewolf, so he went to protect the werewolf from the Ripper.
So because he's
So he's
crazy.
crazy.
Okay.
He's crazy.
That sounds like a Caleb.
But I like the extra thought in that one. Miss
Yeah, that
Hartz.
one was good.
I actually said this in game before we figured out that it was his son that was killed with him. I think it was a setup.
Who would set him up and why? He's not like Armon, who
I'm
goes
not
makes
sure.
enemies with every fucking clan in the city.
We should see if his son is playing with Kayla organs.
His son was killed too, though.
Oh,
That
was
we
he?
know of.
Yeah.
It was a family outing.
Oh, okay. Well, at least there's no more damn Peter to worry about.
Glass half full there, Isaac.
Actually, there's still one unaccounted for.
Yeah, there is.
Oh.
There were 2 that escaped.
Tina?
I'm with this Hearts. Easily.
Well, aren't you lucky? But what's your theory?
That he was set up.
Okay. And do you have any idea who by or why?
For some reason, I kind of want to say like maybe it was Maxine was in with somebody, or Back was trying to get back at us. And
I mean, it could be that they're trying to get at the whole coterie, and he was the weakest link.
Yeah, he absolutely was the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
Not Isaac, the old man.
Yeah.
Have you seen his melt power?
Back in my day, we were made of sterner stuff.
Fair enough. So, we've had a question in the interim from Groundhog. What goes into making a character for BTM? And tomorrow we're going to do a special stream making a character and guide you through the process as best we can. In the interim, Tina, what went into making Xavier?
Well, we tossed around the idea that I was going to play a Nosferatu, and then you were like, "You're kind of more Bruja," and I was like, "No, yep, you're right." And kind of, so D&D is my life pretty much as to my disdain these days. And so you always need a tragedy for a good backstory. And I was like, well, Bruja's going to have a reason to be angry. Like, why would Bruja want somebody specifically, right? So I came up with that. And then I was like, okay, so what's he good at and why? And the easy answer in a lot of situations is like they were in the military. So I created Xavier to be Spec Ops, and it was kind of easy to figure out which one because somebody I've known for quite a while through Eve is retired Army Ranger. So I was like, oh, okay. I got a little more info on what they do and specifically what medals they get often. You know, I've now that I know exactly what Xavier was in the Ranger Regiment. And then we kind of worked out. Well, I was like, well, I want to kind of do a twist because everybody's all lovey-dovey with their fucking sire all the time. So how about I don't like mine?
That's a good twist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I could tie it easily into what happened to my daughter, and it just that alone is like movie-esque. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's a little bit more than not getting on well with your sire, because that just not getting on well with your sire comes up ish in VTM. You fucking hate your sire, and he's still alive.
Like, a lot of you guys, I don't know, but you know, most embraces are blissful, or you just didn't know it was coming, right?
Yeah.
So Xavier literally found a haven and busted in and killed a vampire in front of his sire, his soon-to-be sire, and it was, you're useful. And what's Xavier going to do? Like, it's one of those things that you're surrounded by people. Well, I'm not going to be the first one shot. So he wasn't the first one shot, right? And then the guy walks up and literally does shitty vampire stuff and embraces him. And so he sees it coming and he's very unwelcoming of it. So there alone, he already has disdain for kindred anyways. And now he is one. And so, well, you gave me these powers. The ultimate fuck you is I'm going to kill you now. I'm going to be able to kill you at some point. I don't know how, but I'm going to be able to. And so, yeah.
And then you should eat his soul.
I can help you with that.
That was no.
Peer
I'm
pressure.
very curious when the time comes though, with his Bruja Banu Hakim friend and the actual other Banu Hakim. They both are going to be all justice, and he's going to be like, "Back the fuck up." This is my thing, you know.
Just as a word of advice, when he's in torpor, don't try and rip his head off and fail on your roll.
Right? No, I think we're gonna see a different side of Xavier when that comes out, when it actually really happens. I mean, he's given up killing his sire once already. We don't know if he was really there. No, we didn't see Edwin's face or anything. So, but when it really happens, or when we get closer, God knows what my domain's going to do in general. Like, is Lance vehemently against it? Does the fucking Baron appear out of fucking nowhere and is like, you really shouldn't do this for the better of the Anarchs? You know, like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? And I probably just gave Shiver. Yeah, I know. I probably just gave Shiver ideas, but Groundhog.
How much of you as a person, you know, how much overlay is there between you as a person and Xavier?
Very little. The annoyance of little shit is me. But most of the other stuff, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm more apt to go out of my way to help people without anything in return. Xavier is not. Yeah, I mean, like, legit.
I know that it was Xavier talking, but it kind of makes it a little bit ironic when you were like, oh, Amon, you said yes, and then now you're realizing you're regretting it, this and that. And I was like, well, I was trying to make her happy. You don't make vampires happy, Amon. Just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to drugs.
Right. A lot of what's great about roleplay is we're all humans and we witness so many different people every day. And so just because it's not our personality, we know how to react a certain way to certain things. So, you know.
I actually had a really big talk.
Sorry, that was long-winded.
No, that's perfect.
That's why I had a big talk with Shiver at one point, because I was realizing that I'm getting better interacting with you guys as a coterie, because I interact with you all the time. I know how to respond to this and that. I can expect a certain response from this and that, knowing the character's personality. But then I'd have these awkward moments where I'm like, yeah, I want to do this thing for Pandora because she's done so much, or I want to do this thing for my family because they've done so much. And Shiver's like, all right, here you go ahead and do it. And me as a player just freezes up because I'm like, I know these characters really well. My character knows these characters really well, but I interact with them so little, I don't know how to interact with them at all. And so that's why Shiver started being a bit more lenient on the Karen-ness that my wife was. Because I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you're not
I love Amon's awkwardness, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a part of his character.
Part of the character. That's just me as a player.
I feel like a Karen would have a husband like Amon. Like, where he's just yes, dear, okay.
No one else would put up with a Karen.
Exactly.
He's like Woody Allen. Without the bad stuff.
I was
I was
gonna
going to say, I was thinking the same thing.
We all got the initial joke, and then we thought more about it, and we're like,
We're like,
Yeah.
1990s Woody Allen. You know, when everybody thought it was like, yeah, that way.
Ms. Hartz, what went into making Seadra? Because you've got quite a history with that one, because you made Pandora first, and then
so I've mentioned before, I made Pandora first, and Pandora was supposed to be, I mean, obviously I love the 80s, so Pandora was embraced in the 80s and was going to be this total 80s sex fiend in a way, which would have been a little too easy to play. But then I went to an Alice Cooper concert, which is literally what Seadra came from. Is I dressed up for an Alice Cooper concert, and I'm like, this looks totally like a vampire. And I mean, I think everyone's seen the picture. It's what I use in Roll20 and promo stuff. And so it all came from that picture. And I had to learn a little bit of how the clans work now, because at first I was thinking something like Samdi or Ravenos, but they're not around anymore. So Shiver led me into Asimite and how they've changed, and it fit in well with the little bit of circus backstory that I thought of her. And then I just grew from there.
Originally, the concept for Seadra was a scholar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
now
it was,
she's more standard.
Another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She was a blood scholar, but like the opposite of Dr. Bowie, a blood scholar.
What is the
A little
opposite?
more
Does it go-
bookish. Oh, you cut out there. I didn't hear that.
No, she does-
I'm sorry, you sound like a McDonald's drive-thru on a rainy day at the moment, Pascal.
Yeah, you're cutting out. I think maybe it's your connection. Yeah, Alice
But
Cooper
yeah,
is great.
It does sound like a bit of a connection issue.
But yeah, with the whole top hat thing, it seemed like she would be fit into a circus, and it would be a cool, like, how to do magic out in the open and hide it idea. And would give her
certainly-
reason to be an American in Oxford.
She's certainly sensational.
Sensational.
American
So,
vampire in Oxford.
Yep, American Vampire.
Well, when you were talking about Pandora being like very 80s, does she have like the 80s hair too? Because I never pictured her with 80s hair.
I mean, I don't know what Shiver has done with her since I made her, but she was going to have 80s hair with. When I
You've
was
seen a
doing it.
picture of
Yeah.
Pandora, haven't you? She has a picture.
Yes,
real
I've
quick,
seen the
before,
picture of Pandora.
before I forget,
Now, I'm sure
if
I've seen it, but now I
anybody-
don't remember it.
if anybody out there is
I'm
like
opening
an
it up
actual
now.
artist, like can draw and paint and stuff, I would love to see a portrait of Seadra fighting the werewolf, because there was that one moment where she clashed with the werewolf, and she was like, "Yeah, there's lightning in the background," and I was just like, "Oh yeah."
And I was picturing the Dark Knight Returns comic for that as well.
I was picturing Revenge of the Sith between Obi-Wan and Luke, not Luke, Anakin Skywalker.
With the
What
lava
about that
field
one?
and
Yeah. What about that one Iron Maiden song, "Flash of the Blade"?
Mm. But yeah, I think
Pandora
it
doesn't
was
have
like,
a character sheet. I don't remember what she looks like.
Shiver was like describing that situation, and I just remember going to Twitch chat and going, "Hey guys, my sire's a badass."
Yeah, I saw that.
do you really not see the picture of Pandora in Roll20?
No, where should I be looking?
Camarilla.
She's not under camera. Oh, wait, is she named? No?
She's put under her real name.
Is
What's
that
her name?
Julius?
No.
Marcus?
You don't even. I didn't even change the name from the one that you gave her, I believe. Sandra Green.
I can't remember.
I don't see a Sandra Green.
She's not
Is
in
she
here.
over here, do I?
Oh,
Would
I
she
think
be?
it's
Yeah, would she
updated.
be somewhere other than Camarilla Toreador?
No, she's just never been given to you. Hang on.
Yeah, I
There you go.
see. Oh, there she
There
is.
she is.
Sandra Green.
That's a cheesy Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Nice. So it looks like she's updated her hairstyle.
Oh, yeah, Trey, that's a good one as well. He was thinking about Thor Ragnarok when Thor jumps down to the bridge surrounded by lightning.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
don't get a
that's
copyright strike.
Any other thoughts?
But yeah, when I was taking on the, well, I was gonna say when I was taking on the werewolf, yeah, everyone else is dodging, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna get a hit in on him. So if I die, I die.
Yeah, you did it before I did it because I was gonna do the same thing. It's just it didn't attack me
Yeah.
because I wasn't close enough.
I didn't use any of the powers either, I thought. You got enough to deal with.
Well, I mean, you heard my reaction when you said that it had celerity 5, and I went, "Oh, cool, great."
And Fortitude 5. And a few other things at 5.
And this
And
is
that's
the team
enough.
wolf.
I mean, Garou are not to be fucked with, are they, Fastcart? They are
Yeah,
monstrous.
basically, yeah.
I think Mercy should join the coterie full time.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
I
will.
said you could have stopped by Lamia and asked if you could buy Mercy for a while.
To be fair, after we're done with this whole Monique storyline, I don't know if there was somebody else that has a more pressing thing to investigate. But I'm really interested to go down the Lamia line because I know Amon's been like, werewolves hate humans, and yet here's one being very obedient. Or sorry, Lupine hate kindred a lot. Oh, here's one being super obedient to one. And I'm pretty sure it's the one that attacked me, and she just lets it off its leash in kindred territory, or not? No, it's Garou territory. I forgot. Gangrel and Lupin shared the same territory, but it's my Amon's like red flags are being set off, and it's just like, why is nobody else as concerned about this as I am?
To work together soon in an FC and get that worked out.
Yeah. And Amon can talk to Mercy about how easy it was for him to kill a werewolf, since he is the werewolf slayer.
Amon's cocky, but he's not that cocky.
Oh, you mean he doesn't have a death wish?
No.
Noscavian, what went into
Hmm.
making Isaac? Because you're our most recent addition to the coterie at the moment.
Yeah, I didn't take the time to like do a multi-page backstory. I've done that for some characters in the past, but this one I kind of left it a bit more vague. I did use one of those lore sheets that was in Call of the Blood Gods. I picked he actually has a bloodline coming from, I can't think of what they're called. I can probably find it real quick, but they're it's an Aztec bloodline.
Oh yeah, I heard someone mention Aztec at some point.
Yeah,
in
and
game.
I did say that, and I was thinking of that lore sheet, but technically, because of his age and his generation, it's very likely his sire wouldn't actually be Aztec, but probably more like a Spaniard or maybe of Mayan descent. And then down the chain, there would actually be like real Aztecs. But yeah.
Yeah, that name's escaping me as well now. I only read it last night.
Yeah, I've got it on my sheet. Give me just a second. I can read it out. Isaac. Yeah, so my bloodline lore sheet that I chose is Tino Chitali. I can't say it. Okay, I can't say it. I'll type it.
You know it's good when it's like that.
Is it
Yeah.
as bad as Epissimus?
Yeah, Tino Chitlin, something like that. See.
What? Say that again?
Not Tenoctoclan.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, Children of Tenoctoclan.
Oh, that guy.
It. Yeah. So that's the bloodline Isaac took, and the general kind of concept idea I had for Isaac is I've kind of left his mortal life a bit vague until he got much older. When he was older, he was kind of afraid of death. He grew to the point where rather than coming to peace with it, he was trying to find a way to circumvent it. He wanted to not die. So as he got older and older, he got more involved in occult research, and basically he was an occultist before he was embraced. So as a human, he became an occultist. He really dove into the occult, trying to find out a way to extend his life. And that's when he kind of got his nose into places it shouldn't have been. He attracted some attentions. He attracted the attention of Clan Hakata, and he ended up getting himself murdered. Yeah, he ended up getting himself murdered / embraced, and yeah, so that's basically how he became a vampire. Yeah, and once he was embraced, he's just pretty much been involved with the Hakata family, and he's been sent on this mission to aid the Camarilla for story purposes. And it's kind of taken off since. But yeah, that's more or less the backstory I kind of came up with for him. And then as needed, I can fill in gaps as they come. I have the very first character I ever made was probably the most in-depth character I made. And I found a couple of times I had like written myself into corners in some places. So now I like to, when I take the time to do a more complex backstory, I kind of hit on, especially with the older vampires, like bullet points in history for my character. But other than that, I kind of like to leave it a bit more vague. And then as it comes up, I can improvise something and then write it down and make it canon for my character.
So you very much started with a concept of the character and then worked the creation system around the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, once I decided I wanted to do a Hakata type character, yes. But I guess if we're talking as a player from scratch, I kind of like to figure out what clan do I want to play first. And then once I kind of figure out what clan I want to play, then I'm like, okay, what kind of character do I want to play? For example, another character I've played, not for Isaac, but I've played a Buha before. But the Buha I played previously was not like your typical Buha. He was a social Buha. He used like presence, and he was a lot more like that. So sometimes, even though you want to play a Buha, you don't necessarily have to go with the combat style. Now, in the case of Isaac, I went with Clan Hakata, and I made him a necromancer. I could have done something else with him, but I didn't. I made him a necromancer.
Oh, he's a necromancer. That makes so much more sense. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't know that?
That's
Had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
I didn't want to interrupt, but that's actually like I already liked Isaac as a character just because the way he acts. But like he's got a really interesting backstory that's got some like really cool forms of irony in it, where he went from not wanting to die and now he's obsessed with the concept of death. And so like I don't know, that's just a really cool kind of character trait that I never realized was part of it.
It's kind of like a fear of the unknown. He had a
Right.
fear of the unknown, and then once he embraced that fear, once he embraced
Or
that
it
fear,
embraced him.
once it embraced him, and then he began becoming a scholar of death and learning about it and understanding. Now he knows that, death really isn't the end like he thought it is. He actually knows for a fact there's stuff beyond it. And now he's kind of obsessed with understanding and exploring the other side of that.
That
I
makes sense.
can actually totally relate to that because most of the scary movies I like are the ones where I'm like, that's terrifying, but I want to know more. Like, I remember watching Alien and just being like, face huggers and xenomorphs are terrifying, but they're also intriguing and I want to understand how they work, where they came from, this and that.
We all thought
And now
that, and
it's
then
like,
Prometheus came out, and we were like, didn't want to know that.
there's no
Wait,
no,
what is
I
the thing you call Prometheus? What is that?
I don't know. It's just
You mean
something I
the
read
guy
on the
that
internet
pushed
once.
the guy that pushed the stone up the hill, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he was the god that gifted fire to mortals.
Yeah, and they punished him by making him push a rock up a hill.
Don't
for
think
all
that was
eternity.
Prometheus, was it?
I
Pretty sure
think that
it
was
Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Was
I
it?
might
I
be
thought
wrong.
that was.
No, Sisyphus.
Someone
Sisyphus
will
pushed the
tell,
rock.
will tell us.
You're right. Sisyphus has the
Okay.
rock.
Sisyphus
Sisyphus.
I
pushed
knew
the rock.
I knew the fire thing, but okay, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's just like
Why do I
monster.
know
Like if I don't know.
What was
Anyway, continue.
Prometheus? What was Prometheus's punishment? Because I feel like he did get punished for giving man fire.
He
right?
got turned into a starship that could split into 3 different mini starships.
Of course.
Doesn't sound like a punishment to me.
I know. It sounds pretty awesome.
Nitro. This will be an interesting one.
This is an interesting one because I had never
For
played
the
a
record
role-playing
as
game
well.
before.
Yeah, you've never played any TTRPG before, have you? This was your first?
Correct.
Right.
Mhm.
Whereas, obviously,
Um,
Noskavian has not only played TTRPGs, but he's played VTM before. Ms. Hartz has
Mhm.
played VTM before. And do you have other TTRPG
Speaking of-
experiences?
Ooh.
Are they new?
These are circa. So I'm packing because I'm moving in a little over a week. This one's from 1998. So these are V2, and this one is from 1996. This is what I played Vampire before. I had, of course, the rule book, but someone stole that. I know who stole that. But yeah, I still have these.
Nice.
You need
Nice.
to contact
And-
Banu Hakim. Seek justice.
And obviously, Tia,
Yes.
you've played a lot of
And-
TTRPGs before, but you'd never played VTM before.
Correct.
So yeah, I kind of started in a weird like I've made TCRPG characters before, but I've never played as them because like I love D&D. I love I watch every year when the Penny Arcade guys do their D&D games at PAX. I watch those. I've been watching Critical Role. I love D&D. Just never had anybody to play with, so I've put together D&D characters before. Most of them end up being the same because in my head I have one character idea and I don't really get an idea for another one until I get to play the first one. Like when I made Amon, I was like, this is really the only idea of a vampire character I think I could play. And then I started playing VTM and I'm like, Malkavian would be fun. I could get behind a Malkavian. Like I could definitely see myself as one. But anyway, I usually start out with I'm a very aesthetic person in video games. If I can make my character look exactly how I want, that's usually what I go after. So that's usually where I start. And I always like to play the most hidden, like if I can, like non-human or hidden characters. Like if I'm playing a RPG, I'll put on a bunch of armor so it covers my face, or if I can be a
Didn't go for
robot or an
Nosferatu, though.
alien. Right. Well, yeah. And so in my head, I was just like, well, the closest thing I could think of after mulling over it for quite a while was, well, what if my character wore a mask? And then so I had to justify why he wore a mask. And that was when I came up with the fact that he had a family he was trying to protect by hiding his identity, which that hasn't worked very well. And Amon's kind of evolved as I've played. His backstory's probably changed like 3 times now over the course of playing him, which is another reason why it's kind of good that it hasn't come to light yet, because I haven't had to stick with it yet. But it's all usually around the same concept. It's just the more I play, the more I try and ground the backstory into the world of darkness. Because before it was like I went down the Xavier route, which by the way, when I made him on, I made it back when everybody else made their character, so I had no idea who Xavier was yet, and I practically made the same character Xavier made. And but yeah, he was like he wasn't special forces. I think he was paramilitary, and then I was like, well,
What, the army that fights ghosts?
Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, yeah, but if he's paramilitary, but I gave him no dots and firearms, that doesn't make sense. So then I started looking down the line of like, I found out that witch hunters are an actual thing in the world of darkness, where they go around hunting the supernatural and this and that. So I explored that that route a little bit, because that would make sense. The fact that I'm proficient with combat and my primary means are swords and whatnot. And then that was when I learned about true faith, and how you actually have to lose your true faith to be able to be embraced. But you have to have true faith to be a witch hunter or anything like that. And it was through exploring that Shiver and I kind of finally hammered down Amon's backstory, which I don't want to reveal yet, because I want the reaction to be genuine when you feel it, whether it's surprising or not. But it's been very weird, because like most of the time characters are hammered home the minute, or like right after you finish making them, maybe a game or two in. And it's like I feel like Amon is still evolving every game that we play. And of course a lot of the evolution happened because I made him into this badass masked vigilante character, and then I played him, and so much of myself came through it, of this awkward, hard to talk to, cocky. Well, I
I
mean,
love that.
he's growing up to be more cocky now that he realizes that he's not as under everybody's boots than he used to be, because Pandora pretty much introduced him as like, here, have it, don't let it get you in trouble. And so that kind of gave me the mentality of like, I don't want to mess this up, because one, I've been doing this all on my own, and I don't like the fact that I have to join this group now, but they have me, and now I have to deal with it. And then, so his confidence has kind of been building up, as he becomes more respected and this and that through the coterie. But yeah, it's been very, very different. So it all started with a mask, and then I joked to Shiver that I should make Batman, but an actual vampire like Batman. And then a joke turned into an actuality, and here we are.
And do you bleed?
Love it.
Yeah.
So it seems to be a common theme of people come up with a concept for a character, then look at how VTM does character creation and either change their character to fit in with the character creation that's available, or it just works and clicks. Or sometimes, you have the most rough idea of a character concept, like I want to make Batman, and then you make the character, and then you put a backstory to it.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Noscavian? Oh, sorry.
So, you know how Amon is kind of like a Boo Hakim, right? Like he's a Buha and then Dr. Banu Hakim. And then
Bru
when,
Hakim. I love it.
and then when he was talking about how you always
Bru
wear a
Hakim
mask, but you always wear a mask, but you didn't choose a Nosferatu. I thought, oh man, what if Amon had played a Nosferatu and got adopted by Malkavians? Then he'd be a Noscavian.
Oh my God. But what's really fun is going back to mentioning that we're gonna have this talk and whatnot, and I've been trying to think of what Amon's gonna say finally when it gets revealed what he was in his mortal life. Everybody, I've been asked multiple times in this game while playing, like, why do you wear a mask? And I could easily just say, well, to protect the people I care about. And that's not really true because I got shoved into the Camarilla. They immediately were like, all right, here's this kindred. He has a family that lives here. Well, the mask doesn't do me any good now. But I thought of a way that the fact that he goes under a different name, which was also probably one of the first things that I came up with was his fake name. I was probably a good month and a half in before I came up with his actual name. But I figured, well, Kindred know him as Amon and knows him for the mask. But, depending on how high he was on the food chain during as a mortal, they may or may not know him by his face or his actual name. So now it's not just protecting his family, but also protecting himself somewhat, because if he introduces himself as a masked man named Amon, they're not going to go, hey, weren't you that guy, the blah, 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 blah. And yeah, so.
You'll have to change the name from Amon to Mastmon.
I see what you did there.
Fast cut.
Amon, the Lupin killer. Yep.
Fast cut. You made Mercy. Tell us what were your thinking behind Mercy? What was your process?
Well, in order to get through that, I have to give you a little bit more backstory. I don't think I shared this with Shiver, but okay, go back in the day. I started with Vampire the Masquerade, but I actually started with second edition D&D, then Vampire the Masquerade, then went over to Apocalypse. And then after that, I went to New Bremen, which is a Java chat based program. Obviously, it's like BBS, a bulletin board almost, but it's Java based, and it's called New Bremen, and it was back in 2001, 2002, and I wanted to keep playing werewolf, so I made a character named Remedy Gray. And I let them. I played them for like 2 or 3 years. And what Shiver doesn't know is that Mercy Gray is the son of Remedy Gray, except fast forward in time.
That's pretty cool.
And then after that, I had to figure out a way how to make Mercy such a guy that he wouldn't try to kill a vampire on sight. And that was a little bit challenging, but I made him part of the Children of Gaia, and I had this backstory with him that hasn't been revealed publicly yet of why he's working under Lamia. But I did reference during the show that Lamia has something on him. And that's why she's working under her. But it was fun. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, while we're on the concept of you being a lupine and whatnot, and like playing old versions of Werewolf, my cousin's fiance, I used to talk TTRPGs with them all the time because they played Werewolf as well. I can't remember what kinds they had because it was back before I knew about World of Darkness or anything, so I didn't really commit any of it to memory. But they love werewolves. Like I said, my cousin's daughter is named after a character from a book they like that is a werewolf and whatnot. And
Rover.
I've been so excited ever since I started playing Vampire that I want to be like, I've been playing World of Darkness. It's really cool, this and that. And then last week happened, and I'm just like, I killed a werewolf, and I don't know if I even want to tell them that, because I'm like, I'm having fun. Also, my character hates the kind of creatures that you like, and I killed one. Sorry about that.
My bad. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
During the whole fight scene, I was pretending to root for the werewolf, but I was really rooting for you guys. I was just
No,
having some
you
fun.
weren't.
Yeah.
You
having
didn't
some
care
fun.
either
Definitely.
way.
That fight was awesome, though.
So,
Yeah,
If
it
it-
was cool.
If it didn't take so long to recover from fights like that, because you have to, like, for aggravated damage, you have to do it once per game, and then superficial damage, you kind of just have to remember to do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be a werewolf every time, but having like a super stressful combat encounter like that, a tiny bit more often would be really fun.
well, I mean, at the moment you're going through the Tremere storyline, so that's
That's
Right.
fine.
yeah,
Right.
it's very much not one that's going to support much in the way of combat.
Right. I'm looking forward to going down Xavier's Zemixi stuff, because maybe we can fight a Zemixi.
Oh my
He wants
vampire
to fight
daddy.
everything now. And you talked about me killing a god.
I dreamed that maybe we could just fuck you guys. I dreamed that Xavier could become friends with this guy and be like, "Hey, want to kill a big vampire?" And he'll be like, "Yeah." And then great ally to go kill his sire.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Okay.
say kill them
Oh.
all.
I think
No, I'm not quite to the point. No, the one person I probably would have plotted to kill is dead. So there's that.
I'm really looking forward to, like, when we finally try and close out this campaign or whatever, and we write our little, like, this is what the character does going forward, and it ends however it ends, blah blah blah, for whoever survives or whatnot. And I'm really tempted, like, this really awesome encounter I just want to write as the ending to the story is Amon becomes the Scourge and is forced to hunt Xavier.
Maybe way down the line.
Well, and, like, but it would be left open ended. Is like, like that's just said, and then the
Yeah, but I
story
mean,
ends.
like,
Oh yeah, definitely way down the line.
so like we're already playing other characters. These people didn't die. We just moved on, right? And they're still in the world,
Right.
but we're not playing them. And then we pass by, and it's like Xavier's become this rogue that Camarillo is like, he has to fucking die. And oh, there's a new Scourge. What's his name? Amon. And we're like, oh shit,
See, I would
and then,
picture
like,
it.
it would be
Welcome
like
to New Prince of Oxford,
Anna.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy
It would be like Amon and Xavier facing off each other, and a tumbleweed would stroll in between them.
Yeah, like we take the Vox Machina approach, where like they very much lived in the world, and so now they're in the lore. Like that would
To
be
be
kind
fair,
of cool
though-
to have our characters be written into the lore. Like not all of them die
that
off.
would be cool.
Well, what the
And
nice thing that
Chipper.
Vox Machina has, though, is that Vox Machina, when they started campaign 2, they were like, it's been like however many years since the
4
last
years.
time. Yeah.
How many?
I mean, that wouldn't really matter in
I was-
Vampire, because it's just like, it's been 100 years. The characters
was
are still
quoting
alive because they're fucking
Titanic.
vampires.
84 years.
Oh,
I mean-
something that I was reminded of. Xavier. Well, Tina made a poll during the last session about who would die first, and I beat you to it. And about who would die first, and I forget the results of it, but it's pretty much even because there wasn't that many of us voting.
I
But
remember the results.
My poll would have been who would be the last person standing, and my vote would have been Xavier.
It was.
Actually, mine
one
would have been
vote
Nitro
each.
Typat.
If I remember the
all his strength, he would have been shaken.
all the results had one vote except for Kalo and Isaac, who had tied at 3 votes each.
Yeah.
The last time I looked at it.
Yeah, so it's basically like the guy who's already dead and I.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How's
guys.
it make you feel, Isaac?
Well,
You were
Isaac
tied
had
with
already
the dead
gotten
guy.
hit at that point.
I also created a
Mhm.
petition. I don't know if it was last game or last burning question to
Oh
remove
no, it was
all
last game.
Octavians from Oxford.
Or no, that was last burning question.
I'll have you know, last game. So I've only taken a drink from this. So put this back in this bottle, and so about to here, that's how
What do we
much I
got there?
drank last game.
So you're using my method of playing.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
You can tell how bad my week's gone with my job, how much bourbon I drink. That's usually why I only buy a pint, because then I run out.
Now,
I feel ya.
I think.
So yeah, those are
can
good
get-
ideas. A poll and a petition.
Sad to tell you, Tina, only 2 people have signed the petition, and I'm pretty sure it's you and me.
I don't know if it automatically signs me up when I create it. I'm assuming it does, but I've never done one before. Ever.
The results of the straw poll you did for who was going to die, it was a tie between Isaac and Kalo.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah,
it.
the guy who's already dead and me. Thanks.
I mean,
To
you're
be
all
fair,
already dead.
Well,
every-
and you almost
Yeah.
got taken on the first hit.
Yeah, to be
Well,
fair,
no.
the poll was put up right after a werewolf charged straight at you.
Right.
So-
And that special effect was great, by the way. That sound
Yeah.
effect was great.
If there had been aggravated damage, I would have been
I
almost.
forgot
I
about
would
all
have had
this.
like 1 or 2 dots of health. But since it was
Can I-
superficial, I basically had an entire another track to go through.
Can we go
Yeah.
back?
I did.
to when you were like, what's your favorite thing about the game? And me say the poll and the petition.
Okay.
I
Okay.
apparently had such a good time with all that. I decided those were good ideas.
If that had been aggravated damage, Caesar would have tried to heal you instead of fighting it.
Hmm.
You can
Mhm.
do
I do have a
aggravated
question.
damage.
You can, can't
I
you?
do have a question.
I don't.
Oh, you
know.
can?
I'm not super familiar.
Oh,
What's your question, Fast Cat?
How did the werewolf decide to pick on Isaac first?
He wrote the
Was
message
it
critical.
random?
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Ah.
It was my role.
When they were doing
Yeah,
every role, I was like, go on, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Oh, you failed. Oh, yeah?
You have no idea. Like for that entire, as soon as we entered the park, even before we started hearing the howling and whatnot, I had my disciplines open and I was ready to throw that dagger at that werewolf because that was gonna because it was like the description on it is like you can do it at super speed, and dumb me, I'm like, werewolves are powerful, but I'll still be able to hit it with my super fast knife throw. And then I forgot the fact that werewolves are also fast.
Good.
And I mean, I still hit it, but there was a good moment there where I was like, I'm about to lose this dagger because I could have swore I was gonna miss. I almost missed Tina. I tied, and that was the only reason why I hit him.
Sorry.
Oh
My
wow.
Mm.
my biggest regret just walked in the door, so she didn't hear me, damn it.
Aw, that's no fun when they don't hear you.
I know. I don't want to yell because I'm on mic, so I don't want to yell in everybody's ear. But
Well, you yelled that one time a couple of sessions ago. That was fine.
yeah, that was RP, and that was absolutely 100% fucking warranted.
He's right here.
I don't even
Oh,
remember
yeah.
it.
I
How'd you
made
guys
a
like?
Yes, I do!
Yeah.
How'd you
like-
guys like when we were like talking to the Tremere guy? And I was like, "Yeah, guys, we shouldn't ask it to do that." I think he's like,
Yeah.
"Why are you doing?"
Ask him to bring
No,
back
we
a
didn't
book.
have a talk.
No.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like-
Isaac. The exact quote was Isaac saying, "But you never ask," and then Xavier explained.
Oh, it's a-
I literally had a moment because I couldn't remember why. I totally forgot that Angelo worked at the Tremere place. And so everybody's like, let's go to the Tremere place, this and that. So me as a player just kind of already, I did the combat. I talked here and there. This isn't my investigation anymore. I'm just a background character now. So I just went, all right, I'm just driving us to wherever we're gonna
I'm
go.
just a background character now. I love it.
Talking of
and so
Angelo
they're
as
like-
well, you've all been assuming for so many weeks, he's the one stalking Maria. He really liked Maria. It's like he just said a throwaway line to get you to go to the right place because Doctor fucked up, and you're really leaping on that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was quite fond of her.
To be fair though, he said I was
Obviously,
quite
none of
fond
you have ever
her.
been friend zoned.
Well, no, the reason why I went on the stalking route was the fact that I asked her if she knew an Angelo and she said no. And then she mentioned that she felt like somebody had been stalking her, and the two just clicked in my brain, and I was just like, oh well, that's probably what's happening.
I mean,
Well, look at you being
I-
the ass and assuming.
I don't
Isaac
care.
was more interested in talking to Moya than talking
Well,
to
yeah,
Angelo.
that's where I was going. Was like everybody's like, "Let's go talk to the Tremere guy. Let's go talk to the Tremere guy," and I totally forgot about Angelo. And I was like, "All right, fine, just go to the Tremere thing because I figured it was going to be our last quick thing to do for the night." And then we get there, and I'm like, "Oh, it's the Angelo thing. I thought we were going to talk to Maria first." And everybody's like, "Why are we here?" We're trying to figure out why we're here. And I'm like, "We're here because we're talking to this guy." And they're like, why don't we just talk to the ghost of Maria first? I was like, I was just done. I just sat there. I was like, I'm not saying anything.
I've
These
been
people are
done before.
idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember because I wasn't there for that game. I couldn't remember what the significance of the Tremere dude was.
I just
And then
remember
I
everybody
asked,
saying,
and then no one
Yeah.
said anything. And then later, the doctor was like, "Well, you should have asked what the plan was." I did.
Well, to be fair, Isaac didn't know what the significance of the guy was either.
Yeah, I think sometimes this is what's good about playing a character where your "duh, you stupid shit" attitude goes into the character, because then when Isaac's like, "You should have asked," I can respond in character and myself.
Mhm. Like, I don't get in those moods very often where like I'm just like, you dumb idiot. But that was one of those moments where me as a player got in that mood, and I'm just like, you and it was partially my fault, but
back on not necessarily werewolves, but just supernaturals in general. It was really cool to see a werewolf, even though we technically haven't gotten werewolves in even a 5th edition version of werewolves yet. I'm sure it was a pain on Shivers end to try to not only convert from werewolf to vampire, but also convert to a previous like 4th edition to 5th edition, because we don't even.
Well, he
have
kind
5th
of did it
edition
for Mercy.
Huh?
He kind of did the
Yeah, I
conversion
know.
work.
I mean,
back
that was
when
mostly
Mercy-
Fastcap doing the conversion.
Just
Thanks,
be glad we
Fastcap.
didn't have to fight Mercy.
The one that I'm dreading
Well,
doing
the
is
stats are-
converting an entire line into V5 for Kwai Jin.
Oh,
Can you
Quaid.
snort it?
yeah.
Oh,
I know they've been.
No, but you can get somebody else to
about,
snort it and then drink their blood.
Kindred of the East. Some have. I guess maybe there's a book in the works or something. I don't know. I know I've heard that from some of the people that have heard them like talk about it, but like no products or anything.
Right.
I'm trying to think what I'm thinking of. It was some game or something. From I think it was one of the games Onyx was doing, or someone like. They just talked about Kindred of the East, but
I mean,
nothing for V5.
I think it was Chicago, the latest Chicago by Night for V5. I think for some reason they mentioned Tokyo is a Camarilla city.
Okay,
And
maybe.
it's actually got a Zemitzi prince.
Oh,
You mentioned that.
I want to go to Japan. In game.
Interesting.
I already wanted to go.
Oh,
But
we had the
so-
Quadgen infiltrating Oxford, and we're fucking scared. And you want to go there?
But yeah,
And
well,
you're
I mean,
fucking scared of Lupine, you bitch.
Oh,
You knew that was coming.
Look. We all probably know why Nitro wants to go to Japan. Because everything that comes to Japan always gets mechified or turned into anime.
no, to be fair,
Mecha
Hear him?
Yeah,
And his knife fall out of his gloves. Ting, 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 ting.
Amon doesn't. No, it's me being obsessed with mechs. Amon doesn't care.
I know. But so something
And I
that would
already,
be
I already asked Shiv, he won't give me a mech.
really cool to see.
He's asked more than
But-
once.
A huge pain in the ass would be other supernaturals. Like we got werewolves, like some changeling stuff. Probably not mage because they're overpowered. But like there's so many cool supernaturals in World of Darkness. Even some of the older like what am I thinking of? Prometheus. The Prometheans are really interesting. Wraiths are interesting. Changelings are interesting. What else was that? Mummies are
Mummies.
interesting. Yeah, they're interesting.
Demons.
All of them would be a pain
Fae.
in the ass to convert.
Oh, you mama
You
me.
put the Fae in a little bit.
Little
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, not majorly. It was a Christmas episode, and of course, I put Faye working in a Santa's village.
Well, one thing that would be. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something, Hatchcoat? Okay. One thing that would be really interesting, kind of like how generally werewolves can completely wreck vampires. Vampires are really, really good against like Fae and Changeling because where they get their power from is kind of like, for lack of a better term, like imagination, and like belief and stuff. And vampires, what do they call it? Banality or something. Basically, because vampires aren't, they're like static and unchanging. Vampires are like phase weak. That it's kind of like if a Fae encounters someone who has like no imagination or belief or anything like that, just a completely like
It's like their silver,
like a completely
their version of silver.
yeah, it's their version of silver, like someone who's just completely cynical with no imagination or fun or anything.
It's like when Tinkerbell was dying and you had to clap to bring her back to life, but no one's
See,
clapping.
That's such bullshit.
Exactly.
I was clapping because I was
clap.
glad and happy that she was dying, and then she bloody well came back to life, and I was tricked into it.
But yeah, like so someone who's just like kind of like just cynical and like basically a vampire who's just gotten to the point where they're just like like okay, this is life, deal with it. Like they have I think they refer to it as banality. I could be wrong, but basically vampires are like walking pits of cynicism or something like that.
It sounds like the worst kind of finishing move in Mortal Kombat. Banality.
Apathy.
You step like a banana.
Friendship.
It's because of the way you said it, Shiv. You said banality.
Mm-hmm. What are we going to do with all these banalities?
What are we going to do with all these bananas?
I do not say banana like that.
You did that one time.
Yeah, that's true. So, Fast
So I
Cat.
have a question.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
That's even better. Go on.
So during the last session, you were trying to investigate, and I kept on throwing out these questions or hints, or not hints, but these questions about like can that power that Dr. Bailey you just make a distinction between vampire blood and regular vampire blood. My question is it annoying when chat members get lost up in Twitch chat?
Everyone else?
We're all looking at you because hey, it's giving us hints.
I try not to look at Twitch chat unless I'm not currently involved in anything.
Yeah, I don't look at Twitch
because
chat when I'm
those
playing.
few times where I'm like, hold on, wait, what was just said? And I felt bad was because I was looking at Twitch chat.
Oh, I'll talk about the knife and the blood on the knife and stuff like that.
Oh no, that was already a thought in my mind before you even mentioned it in chat. But it was kind of meta, and I didn't mention it out loud because I didn't see the need to.
I don't consider. I didn't think of at the time. I didn't think of it as meta because I'm just as in the dark as the rest of you. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just making a guess.
You're just as in the dark as the rest of us. Who said that?
It's only meta if we see it and it gives us an idea. That's when it becomes meta.
Well, no, it was more like, gosh, I don't remember what headspace I was in that night. But yeah, no, I literally thought of
Could be drugs, huh?
Lucky bastard.
No, I was sitting there and I was like, well, we need proof that that we have, vampire, or that we killed a lupine or whatnot. And in my head, I don't know, I was just thinking that I was covered in it, but is there enough? Because whenever, shut up, Shiv. Whenever the doctor has to like taste blood or something like that, there's like, no matter how much it is, like a good vial of it and whatnot, it's like one sip or like two sips maybe. So I'm just, in my head, I was just thinking that the stuff I was covered in wouldn't be enough for somebody to taste or whatnot, because it was like,
you want to know where we've been? Lick my face. Lick it.
Did you want the doctor to lick you?
No. I wasn't thinking.
No, he wanted Pandora to lick him.
I don't think Pandora would have had the ability to blood.
She would have licked you anyway.
It's all over me.
Yeah, to be fair.
I personally quite like it when the chat, throws out ideas or gets into it because, I know they're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
You've only got two ways of thinking the chat enjoys it, and that's if you've got people who are there and watching but not saying anything, or people who are there watching and going like, yeah, or something, or do this. It's the only two ways you know.
Or you could have someone like me yelling at the movie screen, don't open that door, don't knock on that door, I told you not to knock on that door.
What you going out there for at that time of night when there's a serial killer on the knock
on the door of the nunnery. Too late.
You damn fool.
To be
I'm
fair,
getting in no plane.
Fastcar, that was my internal voice. As soon as Pandora went, yeah, you have to go into Guru territory. And so my brain's just sitting there screaming, don't do it. Don't you do it. It's a bad idea.
So, Tina.
Yes.
Any predictions or anything? Do you see where it's going yet? Anything you want to see?
That I want to see? No.
Within the game. Because otherwise I know what I'm going to say. Ms. Hartz rightly rolls her eyes.
Yeah, like, I don't know if I want it to go anywhere.
Spoken like a true vampire.
Because I don't know, but like, yeah. I want to figure out who this fucking killer is. But no, we had 5 other fucking directions thrown at us.
Well, it would be really boring.
It better be leading to the Ripper, damn it.
It would be really boring if it was a linear path.
Yeah, but I'm kind of in the situation where we have 6 things we're investigating and we're not moving anywhere on it. So,
Or are you?
We need 6 degrees of freedom.
I mean, Xavier. Well, yeah.
We're not
Xavier
playing
didn't
Star
go-
Citizen.
The next
Xavier
session has
didn't
been delayed
go-
by 3 weeks.
So-
Soon, TM.
I mean, the doctor.
woman-
Who knows? The doctor might end up talking to Xavier. I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
That would be a
but-
revelation.
I mean, the other thing as well, you say you may not be moving the story forwards, but like I say, it's not a linear path. And you, just because you don't see the end in sight doesn't mean that you've not progressed. You've actually
So
learned a
what
lot
you're
of
saying is-
information that when, at certain points, certain revelations come, or maybe even just when you find the end, everything's going to be like, oh, fuck.
Mhm.
So what you're saying is they're playing an Elder Scrolls game. It's not linear.
You say that, but Elder
The-
Scrolls is
the-
kind of linear.
It is.
Yeah.
You've always
Those
got,
moments though, when we're playing in the game, and my character might not have thought of it yet, but like that moment that Miss Hearts and I had where we're talking to Pandora and I just go, oh, and Miss Hearts went, oh, those are my favorite moments. So I'm looking forward to more of that in the future.
Aha!
Well,
Light bulb.
you wouldn't have had that revelation though if Shiver didn't give us a heads up that we find out what happened to Kalo.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I totally forgot he told us that.
Wait, he gave us a heads up?
Yeah.
if you're in the Discord, you would have seen it.
I was about to say, yeah, but Nazcavian barely reads the Discord.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's
Ms. Hearts, where would you like to see game? Any predictions?
So I'm kind of the opposite of Tina. I'm one of those people that when you get a side quest in an RPG, I take all of the side quests before going back to the main quest. I'm a
I'm the
completionist.
same way. I'm the same way. Play all the side quests on a planet or region before you go back to the main quest.
Exactly, because otherwise you finish the main quest and then you can't go back.
You don't want to know how many hours into Fallout 4 I was before I fought the first boss.
Yeah, I do a
6.
lot of that. But I am hoping that
Yes.
all of this Mithras stuff, which it sounds like it's going to, does tie back into the river.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if the cult, I mean, I know that there's the whole, you could have brought it up too, but no moment in the last game felt right to bring it up. But as soon as the whole cult visit thing that we did out of game gets brought up again, I have some fun theories that I have for that.
I mean,
So
Xavier wanted a talk with the
yeah,
Kofi
and I
this
was
week.
gonna talk on that when it was my turn.
Yeah, so out of game, I was expecting Cedra to call Xavier at some point to fill him in on the Mithras thing, but now that we're having the talk, maybe we can do that in game.
Duskavian.
Well, one thing I'm really looking forward to is for the next 3 weeks to be based off of Traven's knowledge. I think that'll be really fun. No, I saw that in chat. I had to say.
Oh god, that would be a terrible game. I love you, Traven, but
But seriously, yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out more about the Ripper and how it connects to the cult of Mithras. I'm looking forward to being able to summon my first spirit. That will be awesome.
I'm looking forward to that. We need to do that, man. We've been putting that off
Should
so
be-
much.
Should be scheduled
And
for the beginning of next game.
I think so. And I'm also looking forward to the meeting with Pater.
Pater who?
Because
Pater Griffin.
Yeah. Because since I read the experience we had when we went to see the cult of Mithras, I've been mulling around what Isaac was going to say to Peter Griffin. I was actually contemplating having him arrange a private meeting with Peter Griffin. However, because we got this letter, I think that's a perfect perfect point for discourse. So that'll work out really nice. Yeah.
Mr. Typat?
I'm kind of in the boat with both Tina and Ms. Hartz. I'm excited for where it's already headed, but I also can't wait to finish some of the side quests before we go straight for the Ripper thing, since I know that the Ripper is kind of the overarching story of it all. But after last game, considering like I know I kind of jokingly say, because I know that this game isn't made for combat, it just has combat in it, that I'm always like more combat, because that's what I built my character for. But after this game, considering you gave us the fight we did, I'm looking forward to a game where we just sit down and talk. Because like I already liked games where we sit down and talk, but the fact that I can sit there and I'm not sitting there going, man, I wish I was stabbing something right now, it would be kind of nice. And I really hope that it stays like, all right, this is what we need to talk about, this and that, and it doesn't devolve into our last talking episode where we sat and just remodeled the coterie domain for like an hour.
Well, that was
like,
kind of what the point of it was. So
true.
Sims the Masquerade.
Yeah, but I think it was supposed to be like a talking episode, and then we should discuss the coterie domain, and it just turned into what if we put an apartment upstairs for Dolores? And what
I was gonna say Dolores made out like a bad.
I like how the one example you give is your fucking idea.
That's the one I remember. That's the only one.
Now, one good thing about combat scenes that sometimes we don't get in these social scenes is we are actually all working together for a common goal.
Mm-hmm. And when you're in a stressful
where, I mean, it makes sense from a social thing. Yeah. We may not all have the same goal. Where when it's a combat scene, we do all have the same goal.
And the tension is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when you're in a stressful situation like combat, you really see what the different characters' priorities are, because Isaac got attacked, and I mean, sure, Ahmad was on edge, and of course the first thing he would do is retaliate. But when he saw Cedra run in there and start fighting it hand to hand, and then you did damage your first turn, and then your second turn, I think you took some damage or something like that.
I was countering. Yeah, and he rolled high.
That's right. Yeah. And as soon as Amon saw that, he ran in and did the attack that ended up killing it. Not really sure what the doctor's motives were, considering he was hobbling along. He goes, you know what? I'll try and stab it. Sure. But yeah, like you said, it's way different than social interactions, because social interactions, there's so many nuances, and there's lying and there's this and that. Whereas in combat, you can't really mask your intentions all that well when you're just caught off guard by, I don't know, a lupine.
Did Armand just say he can't mask his intentions?
Yeah.
Fastcap.
It would also.
Oh.
No,
it's all right. You talk all over Fastcap. Go on. He'll let you, I'm sure.
It would be interesting to see like a coterie member frenzy and attack one of us, and then we have to like try to subdue the coterie member non-lethally. Oh,
it's happened.
Never.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, where's that guy that looks like me and kidnapped my family? Oh, hi, Cedra. Ah.
Oh yeah, that time where Nitro shoved that old man to the ground.
No, which time?
No, Amon did, not Nitro. Amon.
Right, Amon. I didn't think until recently, but I forgot to have that damage. It was superficial. Oh well, next time.
Yeah, you do need to remind me of that as well, actually.
It's my fault. I should know.
No, it was my fault. I'm the storyteller, so shit, I should remember, but I didn't.
No.
Apologies.
But yeah, I know literally which time. I know the doctor isn't that old, but I did shove him off a ladder.
Oh, that's true. You did shove him off a ladder one time. He's not old. He's just crippled.
That's true. Yeah.
And you ended up looking up his robe as well.
Yeah, he does wear a robe.
Ugh.
Fast cut. Where do you see, any predictions for
I would first like to thank everyone for solving the age-old problem or question of how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Teen Wolf. So now we know it takes 3. But my prediction or whatever I'd like to see, I can't wait to see the Cody's reaction when they found out that Taylor dying, just Alice from Wonderland getting her revenge.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, Alice. Still
I like
exists,
Alice.
I forgot. Yeah, Alice would be an interesting character to run into again.
So what I also want to see is more boss fight. This is a cool boss fight. I can't wait to see more. Oh, has Amon learned any potent powers yet from joining the hit new clan?
Any potence? I think so. Hold on.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that, or seeing him use new power.
I did today, or last game. Sorry.
This is when he starts doing card tricks.
The thing where I threw the knife was brand new.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, okay, did I already try that? But yeah,
but that was
3 or
still
4 things.
Actually, by the way, Nitro, the brand isn't new. It was secondhand from the pawn shop.
Maybe Isaac will learn an ability to let him make a supernatural plague. That might be interesting.
Oh, I want to see my answer. I want to see more instances of the Coterie using their mind communication thing more. That was fun to watch.
I mean, we just got that.
It makes everything easier too, right? It's interesting.
Oh, I try to complicate it.
Like a mon in your party.
How
that hurt? Heals.
I did. I did have a potence power I could have used, and it also is brand new. I didn't realize it applied to melee damage as well.
Potence is
I
super
thought it was just
strength,
unarmed.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the first level gave me Soaring Leap, and then when I leveled up a couple weeks ago, I took it to level 2, which gave me Prowess. And I put the entire description of Prowess in there, but because of the stupid way that you write descriptions in disciplines on Roll20, it only shows the beginning, which is add the potence rating of the user to their unarmed damage. And my brain didn't think about unarmed damage because I was using 20 blades.
So my question is, when Amon levels up, is there a special sound effect?
Transformer noise.
Mm-hmm. Specifically the noise that accompanied the transition of the spinning Decepticon Autobot symbol.
We are such nerds.
Yeah. We're such old nerds. So, anyone got any other questions or anything they'd like to say? Anyone at all?
Thank you for the werewolf episode.
Sorry, I killed it.
No, you're not.
I mean, if there was a way we could have hugged and all been friends, I'm sure we would have found it.
Hey,
Your
children of
mom
Gaia
would
next
not have
time.
been friends.
Children of Gaia next time.
Mercy was on a leash, and you saw how Amon reacted to that.
I enjoyed that.
Could you imagine if Mercy was part of our coterie? It's like, oh, the show's giving us trouble. Hey, Mercy, go for a walk. Well, that's taken care of. What's next, guys? She would be like, man, what challenge am I going to throw at him?
He's right, you know. Okay, well, next episode of London's Burning is Saturday, normal people time zone.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you doing a
Usual
show?
time.
Dead Air.
Dead Air show?
There is a dead air this week, yes. And
Okay.
tomorrow we'll be doing
Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
on the base.sc, or, well, the base. Is it just the base on Twitch? Or is it the base radio on Twitch?
Base radio.
The base radio.
The base radio.
On the base radio on Twitch. You won't like it. But tomorrow we'll be doing a special...
It's a challenge.
We'll be doing a special character creation thing to guide you through the character creation. We'll have Groundhog with us. Tina's confirmed. Did you say you were coming, Nitro?
No, I probably won't be there.
Okay. Well, it'll at least be us three. So that's tomorrow.
And in this instance, I think the more people, it would just take longer to create character.
True enough. All right then, everyone. Well, we'll see you either tomorrow or Saturday. Sunday, proper people's time zone. Don't forget, June 26th, 8 p.m. PDT, twitch.tv/Vancouver by night. Raising money for Rape Crisis Centre with special guests Matthew Mercer, B. Dave Walters, and Cynthia Marie. And more to come.
Yeah, but don't leave us for them.
Yeah,
I don't think we're on at the same time.
As they start.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
we sometimes go late. We
Mm.
normally end around 11:30. They go live at 11, so we'll raid. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll make sure to raid them.
Remind me about that then. All right. Thank you all for coming. Toodle Pipskis.
Chart, do the thing.
Have a good night.